10 insane celebrity purchases. Number 10. Tyson's tub. Though perhaps not as notorious as Nick Cage, Mike Tyson has had his share of ridiculous, exorbitant purchases. Thanks to The Hangover, everyone knows of Tyson's love of tigers. He owned several white Bengal tigers for a period that cost a reported $70,000 each and an additional $1,500 a day just to feed. In all, Tyson has owned over 100 cars, including a $500,000 Bentley Continental SC, one of only 73 ever made that came equipped with lamb's wool rugs and a removable glass roof. One of his most lavish buys came when he spent north of $2 million on a gold-plated bathtub for his first wife, actress Robin Givens. Number 9. Celine's voice. The vocal cords located within famous singer Celine Dion have earned her millions upon millions of dollars during her illustrious career. So can you really blame her for going out of her way and investing billions on her money-making lugs? After searching in places that people with normal budgets will likely never know exist, the pop star managed to find and, of course, buy a humidifier that cost her reported $2 million. You can call the purchase ridiculous, but then again, have you ever been to a Celine Dion concert? Reportedly, she kills it, and anyone that has enjoyed one of her shows has to thank her humidifier for its contributions. Number 8. Gold leggings and diamond Barbies. Beyonce and husband Jay-Z are worth a reported $1 billion combined, a fact that Bey so eloquently points out in her song Flawless. It goes without saying then that Queen Bee will have her share of extravagant, over-the-top purchases that us minor peasants can barely fathom, and deservedly so. She has become a cultural icon and positive example for many women to follow. For her daughter Blue Ivy's first birthday, Beyonce purchased a Barbie doll that you can't find in stores. This custom doll came covered in over 150 gems and was etched in white gold. It reportedly cost the artist $85,000. For her acclaimed performance in the 2007 BET Awards, she bought a pair of Balenciaga leggings that were made of real gold and cost around $100,000. Number 7. Brangelina's love. While they were together, Angelina Jolie would shower her husband Brad Pitt with lavish, unbelievable gifts. For his 48th birthday, Jolie bought her husband a waterfall, along with the property surrounding the water. Reports at the time indicated that Pitt hoped to turn the property into a replica of Frank Lloyd Wright's famous Falling Water, though it appears that never happened. For his 50th birthday, Angelina really went all out, spending at least $12 million on this heart-shaped island that came with 2 properties that were designed by Wright, Pitt's favorite architect. Number 6. Money Mayweather's bling. Though his big-ticket fights have largely been disappointing snorefests, Pacquiao anyone? They have all ended in victory and have made Floyd Money Mayweather one of the richest athletes on the planet. The man loves his money and uses social media to let everyone know, and also to show his sensational purchases. His Instagram account is full of pictures of him draped in ridiculous jewelry or simply huge piles of greenbacks. There are also pictures of ticket stubs detailing million-dollar sports bets that he regularly makes. He owns 2 jets, one for himself and the other for his entourage, also known as the Money Team. According to his own testimony, he only wears shoes and underwear once before discarding or donating the barely used items. At the end of 2015, an incredibly successful year, he treated himself to a giant 50-carat pink ring and a huge diamond necklace that were worth a combined total somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 million, which is utterly absurd. Number 5. The Firefighters of Skywalker Ranch. George Lucas purchased Skywalker Ranch to be his home and workplace in Nicasio, California. The property is secluded and located on Lucas Valley Road, a street whose namesake derives from an early 20th century landowner in the area who is neither related to nor has anything to do with George Lucas. It's just a funny coincidence. Reports indicate that the creator of Star Wars has spent around $100 million on Skywalker Ranch. Today the land includes the main house, which contains a company research library under a stained glass dome, the man-made Ewok Lake, an on-site restaurant, swimming pool, fitness center, racquetball court, and a 300-seat theater called the Stag. Perhaps craziest of all, Skywalker Ranch has its own fire department, complete with trucks and a crew of full-time firefighters. Luckily, the firemen aren't relegated to sitting around while there's no fires on Skywalker Ranch, which is literally all the time. They are often called upon to help with fires in nearby areas. Number 4. Nicolas Cage. No American celebrity is more well known for their crazy spending habits than Nicolas Cage. He basically defines the category and has easily earned his own spot on this list. His purchases include the usual ridiculous amount of cars, motorcycles, and homes that many celebrities with millions buy. He's also bought luxury yachts, a private jet, and an island. But what rich guy worth 9 figures hasn't? Here, however, is where things get crazy and outlandish, even amongst the rich and famous. He bought not 1, but 2 castles, one in Bath and one in Germany. He purchased a bevy of animals, including 2 albino king cobras, an octopus, a crocodile, and a freaking shark. His comic book collection was at one time valued in the millions and included Action Comics 1, the most valuable comic book of all time. At an auction, he outbid Leonardo DiCaprio for a 67-million-year-old Tarbosaurus skull valued at around $300,000. That dino head ended up being one that was illegally taken from Mongolia, and Cage would be forced to turn it over to authorities in 2015. Eventually, his crazy spending habits and the IRS caught up with the actor, forcing him to sell a lot of his sweet stuff, including the aforementioned comic book, and take a string of movie roles that were widely panned. Number 3. Basinger buys Braselton. Braselton is a small town in Georgia about an hour northeast of Atlanta. It's not very far from Athens, where famous actor Kim Basinger was born. Perhaps childhood nostalgia was part of the reason why the starlet decided to purchase nearly the whole town in 1989 for $20 million. She hoped to establish Braselton as a tourist attraction complete with movie studios and a film festival. As it turned out, these aspirations were nothing more than fanciful dreams. Financial troubles, most notably a bankruptcy filing that stemmed from her pulling out of the 1993 film Boxing Helena, forced her to sell her town and her dreams along with it for a fraction of the $20 million she paid. Number 2. Trump Force One. You could say what you want about our president, it's a free country, but one thing is clear. He really likes to appear wealthy. Just how much money he actually earns is impossible to determine, as he refuses to release his tax returns, but that's a whole different story. He owns a private jet that is one of the most lavish in the world. His Boeing 757-200 is essentially a flying palace. A guest room, dining area, main lounge, and multiplex theater system compose Trump Force One. Practically everything, including seatbelts, buckles, the walls, as well as the bathroom shower and sink, are plated in 24-karat gold. Reports indicate that the commander-in-chief spent a whopping $100 million on his plane. Of course, as president, Trump is relegated to Air Force One, which is much less lavish, but comes equipped with military-grade defense systems, which is one of the few things his private jet lacks. Number 1. Akon becomes a minor. Rapper Akon considers himself a businessman first and a musician second. For not being his primary interest, he has done pretty well in his R&B career, with hits like Lonely, Smack That, and Locked Up. Akon has used money he has earned from his musical endeavors to invest in some pretty lucrative businesses. He has owned 2 successful record labels, Convict Music and Called Live Distribution. In his life, he has owned a clothing line in New York City as well as a solar lighting company in Africa. His most shocking and outlandish business move came in 2006, when he decided to purchase an entire diamond mine. Details were never made public, but it's safe to say that he spent many millions of dollars on the crazy purchase.